Today, we're diving into a massive shift in AI. Seriously, we are moving way beyond seeing AI as just a smart tool. We're stepping into an era where AI is, for all intents and purposes, a colleague. So get ready to meet your brand new digital coworker.
So, I want you to just stop and think for a second. Right now, you probably use AI to help you out, right? You give it a prompt, it gives you a response. But what if your AI could do so much more than just assist?
What if it was actually like a teammate? Someone you could hand a whole project to who just gets the goal and then runs with it. That right there is the entire idea behind Agentic AI.
Okay, let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around what's happening, we've got to understand this fundamental change, this evolution from the AI assistants we're used to, like co-pilots, to these new digital coworkers. So what is Agentic AI, really? Well, at its core, it's an AI that you don't have to micromanage. You just give it a high-level goal, something like, hey, clear my backlog of overdue invoices. And it's smart enough to figure out all the steps, create its own plan, and then actually do that complex, multi-step job all by itself. The two magic words here are autonomously and minimal supervision.
The best way to think about it is like this. A co-pilot is kind of like a helpful passenger in your car. It can give you directions, maybe suggest a better route, but you're still the one with your hands on the wheel. You're driving. A digital coworker, it takes the keys. You tell it the destination, and it handles the entire trip from start to finish. It drives. And you can really see the whole evolution laid out here. I mean, we started with these really basic scripts and macros, very low autonomy. Then we got generative AI copilots, which are amazing, but they still need us to prompt them for every little thing. But now, with Agentic AI, we're talking about systems with high autonomy. They can tackle complex, messy, multi-step workflows and adapt on the fly. It's a true teammate. Okay, so that's the theory, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through a day in the life and see one of these digital coworkers in action. So let's imagine you're a solo entrepreneur, maybe a freelance designer. Your number one goal is simple, but it takes forever. You need to land more clients. That's it. That's the high-level objective you give to your new AI agent. Now, instead of you grinding it out, the agent just takes over. It starts by scouring the internet for potential clients that perfectly match your ideal profile. Then, and this is the cool part, it doesn't just send some generic blast. It actually crafts personalized emails for each and every lead. Then, it schedules all the follow-ups so nobody falls through the cracks. And the grand finale? When a lead is interested, it books the sales call directly into your calendar. You literally just wake up and see new meetings ready to go. And this isn't just for sales, not by a long shot. Think bigger. In customer support, an agent could handle a common ticket from the initial query all the way to resolution. In finance, it could be your automated collections agent chasing down invoices so you get paid faster. In operations, it could be monitoring your supply chain 24/7 and automatically rerouting a shipment if there's a problem. This is basically a force multiplier for every single department in a business. So this all sounds pretty incredible, right? But if you hire a digital coworker, well, you also have to manage it. And just like with any new team member, this brings some unbelievable opportunities, but also some new responsibilities you really need to be aware of.
The upside is, frankly, huge. We're talking about superhuman strengths. First, productivity that compounds because it works 24/7 without ever needing a coffee break. It creates operational resilience because it's always watching for problems and can respond instantly. It analyzes real-time data to make smarter, faster decisions than a human ever could. And, maybe one of the coolest parts, it creates a kind of permanent institutional memory, so your key processes don't walk out the door when an employee leaves. But, and this is a big but, with that kind of power, you need serious oversight, because these things act on their own. A tiny error can get amplified into a huge problem fast. You're often giving them broad access to sensitive data, which is a major security consideration. And let's be real, the models aren't perfect. They can still hallucinate or misunderstand things. So supervising them carefully isn't just a suggestion, it's absolutely essential. So how do you manage them? Well, you basically treat them like a new employee. First, during the hiring phase, you have to be crystal clear about its role, its performance metrics, and its boundaries, what it is and is not allowed to do. Then, you onboard it. You give it the right documentation, the company policies, and maybe start it off with low-risk tasks, kind of like a probation period.
And finally, you have to conduct regular performance reviews by tracking its metrics to see how it's doing and where you might need to tweak its behavior.
So here's the crucial point. This technology is doing way more than just automating a few tasks. It is fundamentally changing our very definition of what a team can be and, frankly, how work gets done, period.
This quote just absolutely nails it. The biggest change isn't the software itself, it's the shift in our own mindset. We have to go from thinking, oh, I should use that AI tool for this, to thinking, how can I design this whole workflow so my digital teammate can just execute it for me? It's a massive shift from just using a tool to actually leading a team member. And this is where it gets so incredibly empowering, especially for what people are calling the company of one. A single entrepreneur can now have a whole virtual team working for them around the clock. You can scale your business without the massive costs and headaches of hiring. You can deliver personalized experiences to every customer automatically. This technology is a game changer. It's leveling the playing field, allowing the little guys to compete with huge corporations.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is happening right now. Get this, one freelancer reported scaling their solo business to over $100,000 a year just by building an agent stack to automate pretty much everything. That's the real-world power we're talking about here.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. The future of what a team looks like is changing right under our feet. Your next hire, the next member you bring on board to help you build your dream, it might not be human. So the only question left is, are you ready to lead them?